I'm nervous to tell you this, but possibly your favorite movie or song is keeping you stuck in failure. And you don't even know it. Today, we're going to talk about how the patterns of things that we really love and we identify in, such as movies and songs and theater that we love and we're interested in, can actually harm us and how we can get out of being harmed. Your favorite movie might be ruining your life. I know, I hate to even say that because I am a huge movie lover, and just the thought that some of my favorite movies have been giving me patterns of being a victim and ruining my life brings me sadness, but it's the truth. Guys, today we're going to talk about how we have patterns that come into our lives without even realizing it and make us addicted to getting certain outcomes. So if you have found yourself in the same patterns in your life where something bad happens, you're the victim, and then something bad happens and you're the victim again, stay around because we're going to talk about how to get out of those patterns, where they came from, and how we can actually stop being in those patterns and make new patterns so that we can actually be happy and successful and stop being the victim. Guys, I love a movie more than anyone you might meet. I'm a total movie buff. That's what I do. I love my movies. When I had this thought that came to my mind, I was so sad that I had let movies be a bad role in my life. I don't want you to do the same. I want to save you from this trouble. What the heck am I talking about? Sometimes when people watch movies, they identify as a character. My question for you, and I want you to tell me, when you watch a movie, are you the protagonist? Are you the hero? Are you the damsel in distress? Are you the sad friend that never ends up with a guy? Are you the comedic relief? Who are you in the story? I know most of us identify as one of the characters, or at least you did when you were a child. I still for sure do. Maybe I'm weird. Let me know. We identify as a character. I believe most of us identify as a similar character, no matter the song or the movie or the theater that we're going to. We identify as a particular one. First off, I need you to identify, who are you? Which of those characters do you identify with the most? You're probably thinking, okay, Katie, I don't know what you're talking about, but who do you identify with? Well, I will tell you. Now, this is very vulnerable, so please be kind. I love the movie, the musical, Les Mis, one of my all-time favorites. As a young adult, I identified a lot with Eponine. Eponine is the third person in a love triangle that other people, they love each other, and then Eponine loves the guy and he doesn't really care for her at all. I was the hopeless romantic, right? And no one loved me and I was so alone and I sang beautiful songs, and that's her character. As I identified with her, I became her, and I started certain patterns in my life that made me her without even knowing it. Now I want you to reflect for a minute. What character have you related with the most in a movie or song that you really love? Something that's a little bit sad and doesn't end well, that might be putting you into a pattern of being a victim and having a sad life. Because I had related myself to Eponine in this character, her parents misuse her, she's not loved by the man she loves, but she sacrifices herself for him, and she ends up sad. I created certain things in my life where I was sacrificing myself, people didn't understand me, they took advantage of me, and I was creating these patterns in my life, much like this story that I loved. I'm simplifying this down because I know there's other people I've related to in lots of other stories and movies and books, but for today's purpose, I'm Eponine from Les Mis. Have you come up with a character that you relate to, that you have loved, that you have emotionally connected to? Let me know who they are. Have you seen, if you look back at your life, things that have happened to you, ways that you have been treated, and results that you have gotten? Do you see any similarities in this? Do you see anything happening over and over that's similar to the character that you have emotionally connected with? I want to pause you for just a second. I know I've asked some hard questions. I just want to tell you and reassure you that everyone does this, and you're not alone. Lots and lots of people look and read and watch stuff that's sad, and they identify as sad, and they create sad patterns. And that doesn't mean that it's good or bad. Today we're just going to be aware of these things and set our patterns to be the hero instead of the victim in our own stories. Looking back at my story that I have created of being the one that sacrifices and ends sad and miserable, I don't want that in my life. I still love the story. I still think it's beautiful. I love the music, but I don't want that in my life. And I have identified that. Even though I still love the character, I want to identify as the hero in that story. In other stories and movies and books that I read, I want to be the hero. I'm going to start being aware of where I emotionally connect and start becoming addicted to that feeling of triumph and that feeling of being the hero and being loved and things happening good for me, instead of being addicted to that feeling of being lost and forgotten and the sad, hopeless person. Do you see this connection? Do you see the difference? Now I'm going to give you possibly the best homework I have ever given you. I want you to find a movie that you have loved in the past, that you have identified as the hopeless person in this, whatever negative pattern that person had that maybe you have created. Hopefully you find one that you're like, ooh, I know exactly what you're talking about, Katie. If not, just pick a movie that you really love. Find a character who is the success, who is the hero, who triumphs, that you can emotionally identify as, and you can start emulating those patterns in your own life. Basically, I'm telling you, find a good movie about a hero and become the hero. Practice feeling like a hero. Practice thinking like a hero. Make those patterns in your life so that you can become the hero. Let me know the movie that you picked, the character that you picked. What emotions did you pick? If that does work, I'd love it if you come back and let me know how that changing of your pattern has helped you, what it has done to your life, or even how this conversation has changed your awareness of what's going on in your life. One of the first, I would say the first steps in healing and changing how your life looks is awareness. Becoming aware of what you're doing. A lot of the times we become aware and then there's another level of awareness. And this is a deep level of awareness. If you are here this long, congratulations, you have become way more aware than most of the people on this planet. And I know that you can continue to become more aware. I know that you can do this path, that you can change these patterns that you have created, and you're not alone. We've all created these patterns. I'm still finding them. I'm still changing them. I love this work. If you have any questions, if I haven't answered anything or explained it the way that makes sense to you, please ask them. I love to read the comments. I love you guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye.